The former French Catholic Archbishopric of Arles had its episcopal see in the city of Arles, in southern France. Diocesan history. The Bishopric of Arles was founded in 330. It was promoted a metropolitan archdiocese in 460, suppressed a first time to become part of the metropolitan Archdiocese of Aix and restored shortly in 1816. The Archbishopric of Arles was suppressed again, and incorporated into the Archdiocese of Aix in 1822. The latter is since officially called Archdiocese of Aix and is no longer a metropolitan, but an archiepiscopal title, within the ecclesiastical province of Marseille. Councils. The first Council of Arles was held in 314, for the purpose of putting an end to the Donatist controversy. Bishops from the western part of the empire, including 3 from Britain, attended. It confirmed the findings of the Council of Rome, i.e. it recognized the validity of the election of Cecilian of Carthage and confirmed the excommunication of Donatus of Cassagne-Nigré. Its 22 canons dealing with various abuses that had crept into ecclesiastical life since the persecution of Diocletian are among the most important documents of early ecclesiastical legislation. A council held in 353, and attended, among others, by 2 papal legates, was decidedly Arian in attitude. The legates were tempted into rejecting communion with Athanasius and refused to condemn Arius, an act which filled Pope Liberia with grief. A council was held on New Year's Day of 435 to settle the differences that had arisen between the abbot of Lerins and the bishop of Fréjus. In the Synod of 443, attended also by bishops of neighboring provinces, 56 canons were formulated, mostly repetitions of earlier disciplinary decrees. Neophytes were excluded from major orders. Married men aspiring to the priesthood were required to promise a life of continency, and it was forbidden to consecrate a bishop without the assistance of 3 other bishops and the consent of the metropolitan. A council of 451 held after the close of the Council of Chalcedon in that year sent its adhesion to the Epistola Dogmatica of Pope Leo I, written by Flavian of Constantinople, apropos of the conflict between the archiepiscopal see of Vienne and Arles. A council was held in the latter city in 463, which called forth a famous letter from St. Leo I. Between 475 and 480 another council was called, attended by 30 bishops, in which the predestinationist teachings of the priest Lucidus were condemned. In 524 a council was held under the presidency of Saint Caesarius of Arles. Its canons deal chiefly with the conferring of orders. A number of Caesarius of Arles works have been published in sources Chrétiennes. Little is known of the councils of 554 and 682. The liturgical uses of Arles were recommended by Pope Gregory the Great as a model for Augustine of Canterbury. An important council was held in 813, at the instigation of Charlemagne, for the correction of abuses and the re-establishment of ecclesiastical discipline. Its decrees insist on a sufficient ecclesiastical education of bishops and priests, on the duty of both to preach frequently to the people and to instruct them in the Catholic faith, on the obligation of parents to instruct the children, etc. In 1034 a council was held at Arles for the re-establishment of peace, the restoration of Christian faith, the awakening in the popular heart of a sense of divine goodness and of salutary fear by the consideration of past evils. From 1080 to 1098 Eachard continued to act as bishop even though he had been deposed. He was followed on the episcopal throne by Ghibelin of Sabrin, who was later Latin Patriarch Patriarch of Jerusalem. In 1236 a council held under the presidency of Jean Baussan, Archbishop of Arles, issued 24 canons, mostly against the prevalent Albigensian heresy, and for the observance of the decrees of the Lateran Council of 1215 and that of Toulouse in 1229. Close inspection of the dioceses is urged on the bishops. As a remedy against the spread of heresy, testaments are declared invalid unless made in the presence of the parish priest. This measure, met within other councils, was meant to prevent testamentary dispositions in favor of known heretics. In 1251 Jean, Archbishop of Arles, held a council near Avignon, among whose 13 canons is one providing that the sponsor at baptism is bound to give only the white robe in which the infant is baptized. In 1260 a council held by Florentine, Archbishop of Arles, decreed that confirmation must be received fasting, and that on Sundays and feast days the religious should not open the churches to the faithful, nor preach at the hour of the parish mass. The laity should be instructed by the parish priests. The religious should also frequent the parochial service, for the sake of good example. This council also condemned the doctrines spread abroad under the name of Wikima Flora. In 1275, 22 earlier observances were promulgated anew at a council of Arles. Archbishops,